The topic of this video is uncensoring yourself in your brand, in your business, and everything you create. It honestly feels very ironic that I'm talking about this topic because I am still dealing with it. After so many years in business and so many years on this path of uncensoring myself and unleashing my voice and who I really am, I am still discovering parts of myself that are suppressed, that I am still working on uncovering, embracing, loving, and sharing with the world no matter what. It is my fucking duty and my job, and if it's the last thing I do, I will die doing this. I will die turning up the volume on who I am. And I have made a promise to never suppress myself ever again, no matter what, to continue working on this. And it's a journey, it's a process, and I'm never looking back. It doesn't mean that it's perfect, obviously, as I'm saying. As I was trying to record this video, I kid you guys not, the resistance I felt today to creating this video is something I haven't felt in a long time when it comes to creating videos. But it's because I'm diving into something that's really personal and hard for me to talk about. I've always had a knack for reinventing myself. I have had many experiences in especially my earlier life, where I was able to create a new identity in order to not only survive, but to make the most of life. And I, started to realize that that's absolutely the best way to get to where you want to go, to reinvent yourself, to stop being attached to who you think you are, and understand that it's all character and it's all play, and this is a big stage. And we're all playing characters, it's just that some of us are more mindful about the character than others. So today I want to talk to you about a topic that's very dear to me, and that is like really unleashing all of yourself in your personal brand and unsuppressing your voice and being able to show up as you know yourself to be. Because I know that in every single one of us, there is duality. There is the human being who is a human being, right? It's the animal part of us, and it wants to survive, it wants to reproduce, it wants to be safe, it doesn't like change too much, if at all. And then there is the other part of us that's just yearning to expand and grow and experience more and do more and be more. It's eternally expanding, right? And that part of us is unlimited. Now, where I used to get a little, where I used to trip over myself basically with this whole process of reinventing myself, is I used to think I had to change. I had to change who I was. I had to change identities. I had to become someone else. I had to, and I mean, to some extent that's true. We do have to become somebody else. I'm gonna try not to get too philosophical on this topic and just stay on topic, all right? Because the self is the biggest mystery to me. The self is a gigantic mystery, but that's a different topic for a different day. But to some degree, yes, we do have to experience change as a result, growth as a result. But that's not how you step into a different identity. It's not by changing who you are. It's by understanding that there will always be duality within you. There will always be the human being or the animal, and then the other, the spirit, the observer, the essence, the being that's unlimited, that's not really any character at all. And when you start to understand that, you begin to understand that that being, the essence, the observer, is capable as an infinite being of being anyone. It can create and imagine and step into any character as you see fit. And the character really depends on the job that you're trying to achieve, right? So you can create a multitude of characters, you can create unlimited characters as needed, as wanted, and step into them as needed. But it's not about changing who you are. It's not about killing the human side. It's not about denying the human or denying that the human is, it wants to be safe and it wants to, it doesn't like change. That's just how the human is. Let's not try to change its nature, but instead embrace that we are both at the same time. And this is where I felt so much resistance in the context of wanting to build a brand that both reflects who I know myself to be, my potential, who I know myself to be, but also the human side of me. And I used to think that it was so much about judgment from the outer world. Then I realized that it's judgment from myself, actually, more than anything. And then I realized it's one step deeper. It's the fact that I felt as though I was so disconnected from this perfect, ideal self that I have in mind, which it's an aspiration, but it's never going to be all of just that in this form. While I'm human, I cannot be also only that other being. I can't be just that. I will always be human too. And so wanting to have a personal brand that reflects all of your potential is going to feel incongruent. It's going to feel as though you are lying to yourself and lying to other people, because yes, you are that, but also sometimes you are not that. Yes, I am loving and I have, spiritual side, for lack of better words. I'm spiritual, whatever. I really don't like I do not like labels, but I'm a mindful person. I meditate and I'm aware and but also I am prone to anger sometimes, and I'm prone to emotions, and I have these sides of me, and it's a lot less than before. I'm much more aware now. I'm much less reactive. I'm much more aware of my emotions and on top of everything, but it doesn't change the fact that I still have that human side of myself, and I'm not just pure love all the time, right? And so if I held myself at that standard where I cannot talk about mindfulness and I cannot show these sides of myself until I've mastered that, that's never going to happen. I'm always going to walk with the duality of both the human and the fucking God. I am both and neither at the same time. And so are you. And so every one of us is born with an essence. This is my life's work. This essence, this expression, this expansion, this full self-expression. This is who I am. This is who I am, and this is what I'm here for. That to me matters more than anything. That's what's so important to me, to help people express that in their brand and in their marketing, because it's really everything. It changes the whole experience. It changes the game. Your brand is not about your logo. It's not about your typography and your color palette and your website and your marketing. It's not about being famous. It's not about all of that. Yes, some of these things are part of having a brand, but what a brand really is just a perception. It's the gut feeling that people have when they come in contact with you, with your business, with your product or service, or the symbols such as the logo and the colors and whatnot that remind them of you. It's the feeling that these things conjure up that makes up a brand. And brand is not something that you can avoid. Brand is something that just happens. I mean, brand to a business is what reputation is to a person. And you have to hide in order to avoid creating a brand. And you can't have a business and you can't create something while hiding. I mean, you could. I've previously created a successful business as an invisible consultant for a long time. I helped many businesses without showing up, but that was because I was hiding this, because I felt that was not honest. That's not who I am. I had to pretend to be someone that I was not, or I thought I had to pretend to be someone I was not. Remember how I was talking about judgment from the outer world? I thought, well, I am this a bit crazy, I would say, probably a little out of my fucking mind, if I'm being honest with myself. And I'm living in a completely different dimension, it seems, from the rest of the world. And I always felt different and weird, and I had to suppress that because I felt like that would make me less professional in the business setting, and so I would show up to these calls and I would use the bullshit jargon, talking about ROI and shit and making money and whatnot and stuff like that, and just try and be normal and try to be like everybody else. And don't stand out, and don't be noticed. Whatever you do not get noticed. And so, you know, I was like, I'm not gonna go out there to the world and create a brand around that. That's not who I am, but this is how I have to show up to these calls with these clients, and this is the kind of work that I do. And I kept suppressing that. I kept thinking, well, I don't like this. I didn't like this. I did not like this. I still am working on liking this, honestly, even though I love myself, but liking is a different story. I'm still working on liking all the aspects of myself. I suppressed a lot of who I am. I hated the idea of being a spiritual person. I hated spirituality at some point. I was so angry about this side of myself. I did not want to have it, let alone show it to the outer world. So when I stopped judging that about myself, then I was able to show up like this. But now I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not even like this all the time. Am I being a hypocrite? And that creates a lot of resistance. And that's where, you know, I had to understand that there's always going to be a duality. There's always going to be the human side of me that's not concerned with any of this. It just wants to eat and sleep and breathe oxygen and be safe. And then there's the other part of me that got me here on this path for a purpose. And this essence within you, you can see it when you look at your path and your journey and the lessons that you've learned in your own life. And if you trace it back, you can see what are the biggest themes in your life. And it's usually one central focus, one question, one thing, one life's journey that you have gone through, which this whole this whole thing revolves around, that you're having to overcome. And that becomes the message that you share with the world, and it becomes a central theme in your brand, right? For me, it's full self-expression, not just authentic self-expression, but full self-expression, which is really hard considering we are unlimited. But it's really all about taking a step every single time I feel like I have to repress part of me, or, you know, tone it down a little bit to avoid making somebody uncomfortable, change anything about my message and what I'm here to do in order to fit in or belong, and just walk with that. And it's my deepest passion is to help other people do that, because I've gone through that. I'm still going through it, but I can remember a time when I did not think I was capable of stepping into this. And I know that thing is within every single person on the planet, if they just allow themselves to connect with their hearts. What stops people from doing it is because they're afraid that it's not going to make sense, they're not going to make money off of it, you know, what if people judge it, what if I, you know, look like an idiot, or da-da-da-da-da. But anyway, that is the full self-expression that I really hope every single one of you is ready to start exploring. I'm gonna take a sip of water. Driving myself a little crazy here. So when you're looking at a project like building a personal brand, so to speak, first of all, I want you to know this one thing. It is so fucking hard to build a personal brand for yourself. It's not because personal branding is super complicated. I'm saying it's hard to build it for yourself, even if you are an expert in personal branding. It's so much easier to do it for other people. But when you try to do it for yourself, you face a lot of emotions. It's very, very, very hard, okay? It's very challenging. So when you're wanting to create this, and you're like, okay, how do I design this character, right? Like, I know I can't, the personal brand is not going to be who I am, because who I am is unlimited, and that's just a character. It's just facets of me that are combined in this character that is part of my truth, but not my full truth. But I want to enable myself to express myself fully in this brand without suppressing any parts of myself. How do I design this freaking character? How do I approach this? So first step is to think about, what is it that you want to create? Okay, because that drives everything. What's the message that you're wanting to convey? What's the thing that you're wanting to change or improve or make better in the world? What is it that you care about as I said, for me, the message is this full self-expression, right? And this, you can figure it out from your path, like I said, your journey, the lessons, the themes that kept recurring in your life, the pains that you kept experiencing. That's how you connect with the core message, the core thing that you're wanting to change. Once you understand that, then you ask yourself, who do I need to be to achieve that? So I shared in one of the videos, I think last week's video, maybe I put it somewhere, maybe not. Anyway, in the video I talked about how the word or the question how is not the question, but the more important thing is to know what, why, and who, and then the how shows itself. So what do I want to create? Why do I want to create it? And who do I need to be to create it? And then the how starts to reveal itself. So in that context, again, going back to the question, asking what is it that I want to create and why, of course, right? So what do I want to create? Why do I want to create it? For me, it's full self-expression and showing people how to create their full self-expression in their brand and their business. Why? Because I believe that people have, every one of us is really a unique divine self-expression of this universe showing itself in a unique form, right? Every one of us is of a different face of God, so to speak. That's how I see it. It's the universe expressing itself in unlimited, infinite, beautiful ways. I care very deeply about that. I'm not trying to turn an apple tree into a banana, right? Or orange tree. An apple tree is an apple tree. I want you to be the best that you really are, not a copy of someone else or, who you think you should be in the world, right? And I mean, please understand, I'm very aware that it's not I don't have what it takes to do that for other people. They have to do it for themselves. I'm just here to help guide you because I've gone through it, all right? So there is the what, there is the why, and then there's the who do I need to be to create that change or create this thing, this beautiful thing that I'm wanting to create in the world. So like I said, my why is that I believe that people, I believe in these unique self-expressions. I love seeing people show their colors, their flavors, show up as they really are. I want people to listen to their hearts. I really do. I want to show everybody how there is a way to listen to your heart and at the same time still have your profit and your money and the things that you want. So you have your passion, your purpose, the things that make you feel alive and have your needs met. You don't have to be a starving artist. You don't have to struggle if you don't have to choose either or. It's an everything, all of it. That's what drives me. That's my why. And then who do I need to be? Well, obviously, I need to stop bullshitting myself and I need to step into this talking to this camera, looking at myself, on video, even though I used to think I'm introverted. I used to have this identity of being somebody who is unable to talk to people, did not like talking to people, did not like being on camera, did not like hearing, did not want to be seen or heard, did not want to be visible. I pushed myself to get out of my shell and to show up for Brands Are Alive. I did it only for Brands Are Alive. I never would have done this. I never would have been on camera talking to you for any reason if it wasn't for Brands Are Alive, for this mission, for this journey, for what I'm wanting to create. So I knew I had to kick myself in the butt and become this person who can pull this off. So the who came first, and then the how, of course, showed itself during my journey. So that's the path I recommend that you take. Before you ask who and what brand identity I want to create and whatnot, let's take a step back. Again, because you are unlimited, you're an unlimited being. You can be anything and anyone you want. So who you want to be will be a mix of who you desire to be, who your essence is, your heart, and whatever it is that you're wanting to create, right? I am not sitting here, in a meditative pose because I'm trying to sell you something. This is how I am. This is what I do. And it just happens to be part of who I am. I'm not turning it off and hiding it because we're talking about brand and marketing. I'm not wearing a suit and sitting on a desk and looking all professional, whatever that means, right? So that's what I mean by bringing your full self, or that's part of your full self. This is who I am. I'm not gonna hide that or change that for you or for anyone. but also there are parts of me that needed to grow and change in order to be able to pull this off. So it's a combination, it's both. So you have to first understand what is it that you're wanting to create and why and who you need to be, and then the character gets designed based on that. And that character, by the way, changes. So who you think you want to be changes as you go, and you change, and it changes with you. And as I said, you have to remind yourself that this brand identity is something that you walk in duality with who you are, with the human too. To give you an example, hopefully that'll drive the point home, because this is somebody that I think everyone knows who Marilyn Monroe is. So Marilyn Monroe is a very interesting character for this reason. Most people say, well, Marilyn Monroe is not the real person, is Norma Jean. Norma Jean isn't the real person either. The real one is something else that I don't know, but hopefully Marilyn or Norma knew, right? Hopefully. She knows who she is. Because it cannot be known with the mind. Who you are cannot be understood with the mind. It can only be experienced. You can only experience it. So hopefully she got to experience who she is. I think she did, but anyway. So there's Norma Jean is a character, and then there is a character on top of that character, which is called Marilyn Monroe. That's an alter ego. And that is a brilliant way of getting out of character into a different character without having to change. Because changing is really difficult. To think that, especially if you're attached to your identity so strongly, if you're Norma Jean and you've always been Norma Jean and this is who you are and this is how you've been your whole life, to get out of or change Norma Jean is going to be incredibly difficult. But what you can do is you can create a different character. And what she did and what a lot of other people did, I think Beyonce also has Sasha Fierce, I think was the last name. I don't remember if that was the last name, but Sasha. There are many people out there, definitely in sports, in many fields. This is a very common tactic to create an alter ego that helps you get out of character and help you step into a different character. And there's nothing wrong with creating that. You can craft an alter ego if it helps you out, especially if you're just starting out in this journey and you don't have a lot of experience transcending your identity. If you're somebody who is a bit more advanced and you've learned that, yeah, I am not who I think I am, and identity is like sort of an illusion, and I can just transcend it and switch characters anytime I want to. I'm not that, and I'm not that, and I'm not that, and it doesn't make you lose your mind. By all means do that, but if not, please go ahead and use the alter ego method. And the alter ego is as simple as creating a character with an origin story that resembles yours, and there's usually a way to activate it. So for Marilyn, it was posing. There was a certain pose that would activate this persona, right? And of course there was the physical appearance, but that's always been there. For a lot of people, it's a totem, some sort of like a ring or something that they do, and when they do that, it's like, that's it, you go into character. It behooves you to go through some acting classes if it's going to help you out, or read a little bit more about creating characters and stepping into characters, but you don't even need to be that advanced. One thing I taught myself and other people is to literally just install a software by creating this identity, this persona, and rehearsing it all the time, and then your mind starts adopting it. You'd be surprised how much your mind can adopt and really absorb things and make it second nature. So the alter ego is something that you could definitely use to help you break character if you want. And it's not, if it makes you feel like you are being fake or anything like that, just remember that you already are creating a character. You have multiple characters in life anyway. All you're doing is you're creating another one, and you're creating it with intention. That's really the only difference. It's not about being a different person. Again, remember, it's not about pretending to be someone that you are not. It's about taking a collection of characteristics and putting them into a persona or a person and stepping into that or activating it as needed. Remember how I talked about the duality, which is the human and the other, the essence, the spirit? You have to be able to plug into this persona or this character. You have different characters that you're already plugging into in real life all the time. There's the professional you, probably the you with your friends, with a certain type of friend versus another friend, with your partner, with your pets, with your kids if you have pets. there are different personas that you could embody throughout the day, and they get activated, right? It doesn't mean, again, it doesn't mean that you're hiding or that you are being someone that you are not, or that you're being fake. It's just that you understand intuitively that this situation requires plugging this character, using this character in this particular moment. I don't know why I feel like I have like something on my lip, a hair or something, but whatever. You're plugging into these different characters throughout the day. And really all you're doing here is, like I said, creating another character and being intentional with it, and then being able to plug into it intentionally as well, right? All you're doing is you're becoming conscious. You're turning the unconscious into conscious. You're being an intentional designer of your character and your life. When you do that, then you're able to create an identity that you know is part of who you are. And it's not fake, and it's not pretense. It's none of that. It just is something that you only plug into when you need it. You don't have to be on 24/7. Norma didn't have to be Marilyn Monroe 24/7. There were just situations that she needed to become that persona. Beyonce didn't need to be Sasha Fierce all the time, only when she needed to step out of the character of the religious Texan girl into the woman who danced on stage or whatever, right? She just needed a way to shortcut into the behaviors, the actions that were going to get the result, the what that we are trying to create, and the why, the purpose that we talked about. So it's all interconnected. I think this is a good place to leave it. There's so much more I want to talk about here. There's so much more I want to talk about the topic of this persona, this alter ego, creating the alter ego, not creating an alter ego and simply stepping into different characters and different identities as needed, building a personal brand, what it takes from a tactical stance, like the step-by-step, so to speak, of sitting down and writing and narrowing down the message and the key, the identity and the voice and all of that. But I think when it comes to creating a personal brand, I don't encourage doing that. I usually would encourage doing that for products more, because brands are alive, as in they have a spirit, but products, they're products, right? Like, we need the founder's intention to be there from the beginning, so that by the time they make it to the customer or to the outer world, they're not diluted. But luckily for you, if you're building a personal brand, you're always there. So, I don't need to tell you which words to use or like to create a brand voice, because you already have a voice and you already have those things. And the idea is to keep training yourself on unleashing and releasing more and more and more of that, and embracing more and more of that, and doing it with intention and allowing yourself to be all that you are. All right, that's a wrap for today. I will be back with more of this topic. Hopefully you found this helpful and enjoyable. Again, my name is Aliana Bargawi. I am the founder and transformation guide and brand marketing consultant at Brands Are Alive. One thing I will leave you with, actually, that's really relevant to this topic: if you want to stop being attached to your identity, if you want to stop needing to create alter egos and just turn on the button and switch into who you know yourself to be as needed, probably even 24/7, dare I say it, the best way I found to break through limiting identities and mental blocks is sacred plant medicine. I have been able to connect to this being in me many times. I have been able to transcend who I thought I was. I've been able to break through fears, some of my biggest fears, some of my biggest blocks, some of my most repressed memories. I've been able to work through so much because of sacred plant medicine. I've seen miracles happen to other people too, and it really is one of the most beautiful tools out there for healing and transformation. And this is why I always recommend it before a brand and marketing session when it comes to doing the inner work, the inner transformation. If you are open to it, and if you feel the calling of sacred plant medicine, I believe with all my heart that it can do wonders, it can do miracles, and it's nothing short of a transformation, a full-on transformation, even with just one session. And we usually do multiple sessions back to back, and we design them in such a way that you experience different sacred plant medicines with different benefits, along with the integration with the sound healing and somatic therapy, and of course the brand and marketing strategies that help you really express this essence in you that I know is in you, in every single one of us, and build a brand and business that make you feel alive. Thank you for watching, and hopefully we can talk soon.